John and John, again, due to the recent Hall of Fame induction, not William Shatner, that was the most recent one, but due to the one recent one before that, if we could please open up our wrestling Bibles to Rob Van Dam, chapter 4, verse 20. And John DeConnie, would you like to read this one?
I do believe that chapter 4, verse 20 says, "I just smoked your ass."
The whole effing show, baby. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. My name is Karl. This is episode, I believe, 47. We're almost at 50, but more importantly, it's not about us, guys. We're almost at WrestleMania. I'm excited. The cards are pretty much almost finalized. We're going to go through everything we can today. But first things first, I guess John DeConnie, the first ever PWB champion, the living legend John DeConnie. Your guy's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased to see that. It seemed like it was a rumor. It just kept, we kept getting other people confirmed, but it was out there that Rob was in, but it wasn't getting confirmed. Finally confirmed, Mr. Pay-Per-View, Mr. Monday Night, going into the Hall of Fame, baby.
Now, does Katie Forbes induct him?
Dear God, I hope not.
Up on the top part of the screen, my partner in crime, John Smith. How are things going today?
Good, man. Happy to see RVD getting in the Hall of Fame. It just makes me feel old now because he was like the young, up-and-coming guy when we were growing up. And now he's going into the Hall of Fame, and his career's basically over.
A big howdy ho, everybody, to James Wheeler, our buddy. He's our number one supporter. James, howdy ho to you. It is Easter week. I'm actually. Oh, that's not. See, now I'm trying to do two things at once. They're just not working. There we go. I got my Easter pastel. I got my Sunday's best on. I'm trying it out for everybody today. I got my Easter basket ready, and of course, I don't know about Joe. It's a little bit of the bubbly right there. That's what the Easter Bunny dropped off to me, along with my little Vince McMahon action figure. And I believe I have a New York Riptide lacrosse ball. There you go. Speaking of your brother, John DeConnie. But yeah, we have an action-packed show today. We are going to get right into it. NXT TakeOver got stacked last Wednesday. We heard from Kenny Omega this past Tuesday on Impact. Gary Mehaffy, as always, is here to discuss that no disqualification, that flat-out fight between Ilya Dragunov and Sam Gradwell. Absolutely amazing. Brian Joy from Minutes to Bell Time is here to discuss the 19th anniversary show from Ring of Honor, plus preview the U.S. New Japan Cup. There's an 8-man tournament starting this weekend. I'm down to number 3. We're going to reveal number 3 on my all-time favorite WrestleMania list. We started at 30. We are down to number 3. Number 2 will be next week. Number 1 will be revealed at the WrestleMania special next Saturday. Almost there, guys. Almost there. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows, and you'll see all of our graphics and statistics presented by MinutesToBellTime.com. And as always, our picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. You know what I mean? We are going to main event the show with the TNT Championship match from All Elite Wrestling's Wednesday night Dynamite. But we're going to get the show. There's no reason why we would just get right into it. WrestleMania. We are about a week and a half away. Next week starts the bleep show of a week that is WWE, as well as Impact. The ball's on Impact going there. But we are going to start off Friday Night SmackDown, and the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, I guess the main event of the whole shebang that we would realize was going to be Roman Reigns versus Edge. Daniel Bryan, the entire night was actually the show began, held the show hostage, campaigned to get inserted into the match. Long story short, Postman Pierce brought everybody out. There was a pissed off Daniel Bryan that he wasn't in. We have a pissed off Edge because Daniel Bryan might get in. We have a pissed off Roman Reigns because he doesn't want to defend against two people. He doesn't want to defend on two nights. Blah, blah, blah. But Postman Pierce made the triple threat match official. John Smith. I kind of felt like Edge had an argument here. Daniel Bryan had two shots. Yes, they're not the fairest shirts in the world, but most people don't even get two shots, and now he kind of, I don't want to say weaseled his way in, but I still feel like Edge has the point here, but you're going to take the other side on this.
Well, think about it. He had to win the Elimination Chamber and then fight Roman right after that. That wasn't fair. And then the one legit shot he had, it got interfered with, and he made Roman tap.
Yeah.
So he should have won the title, allegedly. So, this makes the most sense. He does deserve another shot at the belt, and they're not going to do it on SmackDown, and Roman won't defend it twice, so this is the only solution.
Yeah, this is the solution. Like I said, WWE is not fair sometimes. John DeConnie, we've seen this before out of Daniel Bryan when he's kind of weasels his way to the main event. We've seen this before.
Yeah. There was a meme that came out immediately after the show of Batista and Randy Orton talking like, you don't think they're gonna do the same thing they did to us.
and for those, I'll reiterate this next Saturday. What happened on that and why Roman does not want this was because Daniel Bryan beat Batista in that match. Randy Orton was the champion. Randy Orton was not involved in the decision to lose the championship. Batista was the one that got tap happy to the yes lock. So the Universal Championship is in disarray right now. It's in jeopardy. It's in trouble. Roman knows it. So to be continued that, we'll see what happens on the next couple SmackDowns, and we will circle back to this on the WrestleMania special for our final thoughts. John Smith. A rematch from Fastlane, and I got excited again. I mean, it wasn't as great because it was SmackDown, but Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, they went at it again. I got excited.
Yeah, and it was, a light version or a diet version of what we got at the pay-per-view. And, I'm not the biggest Rollins fan, you know that. Yeah. But, Nakamura, I could watch him go with anyone. I could even watch him go with Cody. So
whoa, that's high praise right there. That's high praise. Wow.
So but the story of this was actually had more to do with Cesaro and the fact that it's going to be Seth versus Cesaro, and it's official now. And hopefully Cesaro doesn't lay down at the pay-per-view, man, because Rollins doesn't need this victory. Cesaro needs it bad.
Yeah, that's kind of a toss-up, and they announced one other. It's funny, you look at the non-title matches that Raw threw out two, and then SmackDown threw out their two. They gave us Rollins and Cesaro, and then they gave us Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, not to toot my own horn here, but I put out a way too early WrestleMania card. I think it was back in like November. Something ridiculous, just to write something for the Eastern Observer. I was bored one day, whatever. And I got one right. Here's Sami Zayn. I have it for the Intercontinental Championship. Whatever. I'm going to take the points anyway. So I think I rattled off 16 matches. I got one right. So that's better than I've been doing. John DeConnie, I do this to you all year. My way too early WrestleMania card. I love it. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. I got it, but I wasn't at WrestleMania.
I love that every year because the amount of thought that you put into it, And as I'm reading some of your build-ups, I'm going like, yeah, those two have never faced each other before. That would be perfect.
It's amazing what you can think of on a train for an hour and a half, and you got nothing to do. But I guess next week, Sammy will be premiering his trailer. I don't know if it's going to be Red Band or not. His trailer for his documentary, which I guess will be a special guest, Logan Paul, the YouTube sensation. And I guess he has the brother that made the meme out of Nate Robinson in the boxing fight, right? Those brothers, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and then there's Chris Paul from the State Farm commercials, and he's got, it's the Jake being his brother. Yeah, the Paul family's a little bit confusing, but
Then there's the
there
fake
will
Chris
be
Paul.
Logan Paul there. Maybe Logan Paul gets involved in WrestleMania. Who knows? I sure hope not. KO and Sammy do not need anybody on the outside interfering. This is going to be too much fun as it is. Both those matches, potential soul stealers, in my opinion. Bianca Belair, she defeated Natalya with the kiss of death. Post-match, Sasha Banks. She came in, hit Bianca with a backstabber because Bianca kind of slapped her for no reason during the match. So Sasha at least waited till after. So they got into a little bit. They're headed to WrestleMania. We know that. The Intercontinental and SmackDown Tag Team Championships, they're kind of like intertwined here. John DeConnie, first we had a six-man tag. They announced Ian Apollo in a rematch for WrestleMania. That's set. The SmackDown tag division got a little screwy, so they put the Alpha Academy with Apollo Crews. They put the Street Profits with Big E. Big E was having fun dancing and swimming in the cups at the beginning of that. Crews hit the angle slam for the win. But then we got Rey Mysterio and Dolph. So tell us about Ray and Dolph and try to make sense. Like, who's beating who here? Who's gotten the shot? What are we doing here?
Well, I think as we talked about in pre-production, it looks like it's headed towards some kind. You just saw Gary's comment.
Yeah, RuPaul apparently. Apparently, I guess Aunt Ru, Logan and Jake's aunt.
Yeah. So it looks like we're headed towards some kind of four-way for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but they decided to hook up Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler for a match last week. And Dom was outside, Rude was outside, of course. Okay, he's a Tampa guy.
Yeah, I think so.
I figured. I just thought every wrestler was from Tampa, technically, right? So, anyway, Ray and Ziggler went out to the floor. Ray attempted to pull off a Hurricane Rana, and Dolph kind of powered out of it and power bombed him over the barricade. And unfortunately, they didn't quite move the camera quick enough. You saw that he landed on a crash mat. They fixed that, a couple days later by the time Almost did it. But Dom went over to check on Pop. He caught himself a nice fat super kick in the mush for his efforts. Then we went to commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Rude and Dom are chasing each other around. They run right through the match, but they go in, they go out. No harm done. And then Ziggy goes to gut wrench Ray into the powerbomb position once again, and Ray hits a Hurricane Rana this time out of it, which of course lands Ziggler on the ropes, which of course leads to the 619, and not quite a West Coast pop, but a slingshot splash in from the outside, and Ray gets the 1-2-3. What did that solve? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, it's solved because the champs weren't, Alpha Academy's been beating everybody, and then, the Mysterios beat the Street Profits. The Street Profits have owned Rude and Ziggler up until the last match when they lost the titles because Ford was hurt. So there's now Ray has got the pin over the champ. So yeah, it's a whole mishmash. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get into this in a little bit when we go over the potentials for WrestleMania. I feel like we're going to do this. James Wheeler, we're ding-donging, and no one's answering. So we don't know where Bayley is, why she's not there, why she's not at WrestleMania. We don't know. She was kind of the female wrestler of the year in most people's opinions, and nowhere to be found.
Maybe her and Charlotte are planning something crazy.
That'd be fun. There you go. So going to last night on Raw for staying with WWE and on the road to WrestleMania. I laugh at it. I think Travis laughs at it too. Travis Severance of the Daily Wrestling News Show got this brand new, beautiful Hurt Business poster to hang in his back wall. He specifically did it because he called himself out. He kind of rags on WWE a little more than he should. And they split him up. John Smith. Poor Travis. He didn't deserve that.
Yeah, no, but it should not have happened. First of all, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, you start to show off with Bobby just yelling at them and MVP yelling at them, and Bobby says they're out. Cedric and Shelton are out. So they also decided to say that Drew's had enough chances, which is why they got a price on his head, which is kind of a cop out. But Shelton and Cedric demanded a match with Adam Pearce backstage. They demanded Shelton versus Lashley, and then Cedric wants him next week if there's anything left of Bobby Lashley when Shelton Benjamin's done with him. Everybody in the whole world, just like that.
Exactly, right? I'll cut you off for a second here. Bulls on Cedric saying, you have to go run everything past Roman, like just like you do with Bobby. Kind of gave him a little shot out for the way Pierce acts on SmackDown. That's a little good for Cedric.
Yeah, definitely. So then we get Lashley versus Shelton, and it lasted much longer than I thought it would. It was probably almost 10 minutes long. And then, of course, Shelton taps to the Hurt Lock. And then later on in the night, we see Lashley again at the end of Drew McIntyre's situation with Ricochet and then Mustafa Ali. So we get Lashley coming out to beat up Drew, says he's not afraid of him, blah, blah, blah. But then Baron Corbin comes out of nowhere and starts beating up on Drew. And I wonder, is this a new allegiance? Because he's not even from Raw. I wonder if he's part of the Hurt Business Net now, because MVP actually said at one point while the two of them were beating him up, this is the Hurt Business. So I don't know what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, maybe Baron can, or His Highness. I still call him Baron. This still is his first name, right? So, but Baron, maybe he'll answer that on SmackDown. He threw out a tweet this morning. It was like, hey, Bobby threw out the invitation, so I took it. Like if he wants me to take you out, I'll get a title shot. Why not? Same thing. Ricochet did the same thing. Yeah, so this was actually driving Drew McIntyre a little stir crazy. I thought it felt like the mind games of actually nobody was going after him was actually getting to him. So that was actually kind of fun to see the reverse psychology worked on Drew McIntyre. It was as great as Miz and Morrison said it was going to be. Early Grammy nomination, hip, hey, hop, hop. Absolutely phenomenal. I have to get it. I can't wait till it comes out on Spotify. I will buy it. Right, it'll go right next to my Free Cake album. It'll be hey, hop, hop. It's absolutely phenomenal. John the Connie, look at you guys something to laugh. That's all. I'm not gonna tell anybody that Bad Bunny punched me.
I love your enthusiasm, man. Always do.
Yeah, there you go. Shane McMahon, he did an expose on Braun Strowman, which kind of took me as a little bit of surprise, because I'm pretty sure Pee Wee Herman got into a little bit of trouble doing an expose way back when. I didn't think WWE put now.
He exposed himself. He exposed himself.
It's not an expose. That's something different. Okay.
Missing one.
I just didn't want anyone getting in trouble. More importantly,
You're missing a little mark.
So yeah, more dumb jokes. Braun Strowman then beat Jackson Riker. So you can't do a leg slap anymore. But when Braun decides to, all of a sudden locomotive noise comes over the loudspeaker. But you can't do a leg slap anymore. You know what? I'm a big WWE guy. I love it for what it is, but damn, sometimes they just make it so hard to defend.
That's apples and oranges, though. That's apples and oranges. That's somebody pressing a button when they see Braun running. It has nothing to do with making the move look better.
Then why are they doing the noise?
Well, I mean, for the kids, obviously.
Okay, there you go. Okay, gotcha.
So those Strowman Express T-shirts.
The problem with the leg slap is that it makes all these random kicks sound great, and then when somebody like Shayna gets her or Asuka gets her tooth knocked out, it doesn't even make a sound, and that's the one that's more devastating, and that's I think the problem with the leg slap in general. Screw the leg slap.
Alexa's Playground, little they're gonna kill Randy Orton. So that's a little much. James has a question. I never saw the movie Corpse Bride, so I don't know. Anyone see Corpse Bride?
No.
No, but I guess that's sure.
I see where he's going with that, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it too. I can see that she's got the death look. But yeah, she's saying they're gonna kill the Legend Killer. So Randy did a promo earlier in the night as well, saying I think he says he's figuring it out. I think Randy's in trouble. Riddle was going over his plans with Titus O'Neil for the WrestleMania roast. Then he got body slammed or body checked. Apparently, I guess Sheamus thought he had a puck on him. Body checked into the roll cases that the production units use. Those things are heavy. I've pushed those before. They usually, when they're full with the lending equipment, they need forklifts to lift them. So that didn't tickle. Then they had their non-title match. Riddle came out. He can't leg slap, but sure, Riddle's got birds flying out of his feet when he flips off his slide. That was funny. That was fun. I LOL'd on that one. I was, rolling on the floor. Yeah, that's whatever. That was funny. I like the birds can stay. I like the birds. That's good. Sheamus got the job done. Yeah, jumping knee. It wasn't the bro kick. It was the jumping knee. And then Riddle jumped and pushed him out of the ring after the match. Said, what was the exact quote here? I just had it written down. He's going to get what's coming to him. So the United States Championship match was signed for WrestleMania. John DeConnie, it was also game night last night. That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah, they almost and AJ. They crossed paths with Kofi and Woods backstage. They were walking around with a bowl with some papers in it, and AJ had no idea what was going on. They wound up out in the ring, and it was game night. And once again, just like in the newlywed game that they kind of played last week, New Day did well. AJ and Almost did bad. I was completely bored, and then Almost. But at least we got a full sentence out of Almost. He got pissed off over the chicanery and said, enough, knock it off. And, at Mania, I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. Forget about these games. Well, that led us into AJ Styles and Xavier Woods. And Xavier Woods would win by DQ because Almost once again got involved. Woods went up to the top. AJ kind of pulled. AJ got pulled out of the way by Almost. So Woods took exception to that, and he kind of ran the side of the apron like he was going to kick Almost. Almost caught his foot and just flipped him right back into the ring. Referee called for the DQ. But then afterwards, things broke down. They kept going at each other. Almost wound up gorilla press slamming Kofi over the barricade. Over a couple of rows, it felt like of monitors. And he would also hit a pop-up power bomb on Woods and then just kind of stand over him, put his foot on his chest, and AJ would count the 3 count. It didn't actually count, but it certainly sends a message heading towards Mania.
How high do you think Kofi Kingston was in the air?
7, 8, 9, about 9 feet, maybe.
9 feet. But who was higher, him or Riddle?
Always Riddle.
Yeah.
Until the Hall of Fame induction, Riddle will always be the highest person in the room.
Yeah, exactly. And then, to put the bow on that, MVP was doing commentary for Samoa Joe. This is what playing games will get you. And Omos was he is all business. Shout out to AJ Styles, though. AJ Styles was absolutely hysterical. I enjoyed it. Naomi defeated Shayna Baszler with a roll-up. Amidst all the chaos at ringside, there was a lot going on. Mandy and Dana at ringside. Reggie was flipping all over the place. Nia was trying to put Lana through a table. Great camera angle on that, by the way. Exactly. Kudos to the producer, the cameraman. It's the guys that behind the scenes that make WWE as great as they are. They're trying to put Lana to the table again. It was a bleep show. Naomi ended up getting the roll up. So that you kind of feel like that kind of puts them in somewhat of a tag title opportunity, kind of like what Ray was doing against Dolph Ziggler, or what Natty and Tamina have been doing with Nia and Shayna. They haven't really been winning, but they've been beaten up. They've been jumping, and then all of a sudden during the contract signing, here comes Shayna and Nia. They're like, why aren't we in this match? Where's our main? So it was really weird. Then the contract, they have a match next week. I'll put it up right here. It's a non-title match, but the tag team champions, they want Rhea and Asuka in a tag team match. So I guess they're going from one SmackDown, championship to the Raw Women's Championship. John Smith, how do you think this one's going to shake out?
I got Asuka and Rhea winning this one. It's because it's non-title, obviously. Because if it was for the titles, I don't think they would put it on them. But Rhea will probably get the pin because this is her first match on Raw, or her second match on Raw, I guess. Or did she have one yet? I don't even know if she had one.
This is her second week out. Last week was her debut. Yeah. She's been on Raw before. She was throwing the NXT Championship in Charlotte Flair's face all last year before WrestleMania. That didn't work out too well for her. But I don't think she ever technically had a match on the con. How's this one shake out? I like John Smith's theory.
Yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. You don't want to have Asuka lose again. She got pinned by Nia a couple of weeks ago. You don't want her to lose again. You certainly don't want Rhea to lose before you give her this huge spot at WrestleMania. So I would have to say those two win. And I like John's idea of Rhea getting the pinfall.
Yeah, and then I guess we forgot about this match, but seriously, there is something left of Bobby Lashley, so Cedric's in trouble. But this is happening on Monday as well. Throw that out there. So this is what we have booked so far for WrestleMania. Night one, we got Lashley and Drew and Sasha Bianca, the Raw Tag titles. Strowman and Shane was announced. It was a steel cage. We forgot to mention that in our ramblings or my ramblings after he beat Jackson Riker. Strowman was allowed to choose the stipulation. He chose the steel cage. Cesaro and Rollins from SmackDown along with Miz and Bad Bunny. Daniel Bryan was added to the Universal title match that won main event night 2. Bray and Randy are playing with fire. Nothing technical yet. Still just a singles match. Raw Women's Championship, Intercontinental Championship, United States Championship. And then Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. So that leaves us with this left. Like I said, you feel like those are going to be the 6 matches, right? For each of there's 12 matches. You put maybe the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship in a Fatal 4 as the kickoff show one night. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship is the kickoff show on the other night. But then we have Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Where's Jeff Hardy? Jey Uso. Bayley gets nothing. Cedric and Sheldon for all they've done. Where's Humberto Carrillo? We saw him for the first time. He thought maybe he had a huge main event spot coming up. Maybe he's gonna join late to the party. Maybe like after the show's over, Humberto Carrillo is gonna run out to the ringside and do what Big Show did last year. They challenge him after the show's over.
We got to get the Battle Royals.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That gets everybody at least on the kickoff show. For those of you who are on ProWrestlingPick'em.com, many points available for WrestleMania, and then we have 54% to deliver. NXT UK Prelude still only has the 2 matches. We're going to get to Gary in a second. Impact will probably announce their entire card tonight. So hopefully, Tommy had the card on his napkin 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. I don't know why it's taking him so long to book everything. Who knows? He tried to talk to Trey about it last week. Trey just blew him off. But, gentlemen, anything you want to say going before we bid you adieu and bring in other parts of wrestling here?
One quick thing, talking about Drew's paranoia backstage and whatnot earlier in the night. He crossed paths with AJ and Omos. And the one thing he said, I'm going to take it as a harbinger just because I want it to be. He said, I'm not going to jump you, Drew. Don't worry about it. I got bigger fish to fry, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure we'll cross paths soon enough.
Yeah, right. John Smith, I just want to WrestleMania over there before we go into your wheelhouse. Gary's up next, but then here comes your wheelhouse.
I just want to say Santos Escobar rules. Jordan Devlin sucks eggs.
On that note, we will bring in the pride of Belfast, North Ireland.
I didn't realize John.
Shots fired.
I didn't know that John was taking up stand-up comedy. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. That's very impressed. And for so long, he stuck with that line too. Someday it'll ring true, but not soon enough.
Gary, top of the evening for you. How are things going? Everything's going well. Yeah, cheers, buddy. You can taste the power. Broken by the Eastern Observer. Again, you say the words no disqualification match. You're like, okay, just be a normal notice. It means something different over by you, Gary. It doesn't mean the same as it does here.
No, especially if Ilya Dragunov's involved. He's had two brutal ones in this. To be fair, this past week in NXT UK, his match with Sam Gradwell literally there were no quarters given at all.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. We'll backtrack. You know, Sheamus and Drew Matt, those are your guys too. Those are I know we watched that here, but there's a no disqualification that just means something different to the British strong style, the UK brand here. But yeah, Dragunov, credit to Ilya Dragunov. He looks like his whole entire body breaks in half. Like when he got slammed onto those steps, I thought he got shot. Like it really, like he was screaming bloody mercy.
Yeah, he get. One of the things that I would say is his calling card. He gets marked up really easily when he's wrestling, and he chops to the chest or to the back. Dragunov, he marks up and he reddens up very, very quickly. So it is always interesting. Hopefully, it doesn't affect him too much in the long run, but he is willing to take a lot. And again, for anybody, if you haven't seen this match, do go back and watch it. And I will say, hand on heart, while maybe 2 months ago, I was thinking, Sam Gradwell, why are they keeping you here? You've been injured, but so what?
Yeah.
He showed me something in this match, and they literally, the two of them had an amazingly hard-hitting match. It was just superb.
Yeah, absolutely great. Great way to end the show. It's always fun to see but they started it pretty damn good, too. They came in hot with the Supernova sessions, Garrett.
Yes, they like every week, as I say, something's going to happen every time there's a Supernova session. It's not just for the sake of having it, and it's
I'll set it up for you. It's not going to fail. But speaking of failure, here comes Trent.
It's Trent 7. Yeah, no, I mean. Like he's brilliant. Like I love. There are things that Noam. I've said it before. There are things that Noam Dar says. That few catchphrases from a few UK TV shows, and it's brilliant. But it's his sarcasm is great, and even the laughter track, like the track he played over it, was just brilliant. In setting it up, and it's just obviously they've now set up Trent 7 being in Tyler Bates' corner in 2 weeks' time. Or I'd say 2 weeks' time, a week and a half time, I suppose. But which will be interesting to see where they go. I've seen a few people talking a few things that they think might happen, but to have Noam Dar as the ultimate just person to mock people and just keep people going and stir the pot, he is superb at doing that. And long may it continue.
And now, he's a little barking dog. He's got some muscle behind him too. He's got Shaw Samuels with him. So that was fun. That was a great. No, he was great. He was in the Cruiserweight Classic. He was the youngest competitor at that point in time 5 years ago. So he was an OG, a 205 OG. He never got a Cruiserweight Championship match while Devlin was over there. I guess maybe if Devlin goes back with it, he might get a shot. But I guess now he's got to settle for the Heritage Cup, which is fine. But then he called Trent 7 an outsider. Now he's been a day one guy with the UK. It's funny how they meshed all the history of everything together.
It's well written and well joined. We've said that before, but the NXT UK show, I mean, they set things out ahead of time, but they really do a good job of tying everything in, and they did it again here, as you said.
Joseph Connors got his rematch with Jack Stars. Connors got the win with, I guess, a rude awakening. Right? I mean, let's call it what it is, right? I mean, that's
by any other name.
So Jack, he said in the match, Jack's 15 minutes are up, and then Piper was there to pick him up a little bit after the loss in the back. It's going to be okay. She gave him a nice little hug.
It'll be interesting to see where they go with it, because when I saw them do the wee hug, I thought, are they actually going to go, oh, here comes the wee love angle, or are they going to have Jack Stars starting to fall for her, but she's just his mate, and then maybe way down the line, he suddenly goes, well, what do you mean you don't like me? I like you. And then actually we get a Jack Stars heel turn. Way down the line. But we'll see what we think. But
now, if this turns into a
his
love angle, does he change his name to Jack Spratt? No, is that you can't okay, you can't say. I apologize. T-Bone, Tyson T-Bone, I guess he's gonna Wild Boar's done, like he's officially kicked out. I know we kind of fed him to the wolves, Eddie Dennis fed him to the wolves a couple of weeks ago, but I guess he's done. Tyson T-Bone is now just T-Bone. He joins the illustrious list of people who loses parts of their name.
That's it. Somewhere he and Matt Riddle's first names are having a beer and crying into their pint somewhere. But yeah, I mean, obviously the match, and they were fighting. I mean, they were against Josh Morrell and Danny Jones, enhancement talent, but it was there just to set the two of them up, and they did. They came across as, actually, to me, it comes across as much as I'm not a massive Tyson T-Bone fan, but they come across as a better pairing, I think, than they do with Wild Boar. There was something about that just didn't click for me. But when you've got Primate, who's a big bruiser, and Tyson, who's a big bruiser, you go, okay, I can see what's coming down the line here. So fair play to them. It was just set up to give them a win, a bit of momentum.
Yeah. And then the debut, that was the first time we saw them. We never really, seen them together. In the women's division, Isla Dawn, she defeated Aaliyah James. Aaliyah's looking better and better every week. Isla got the half and half suplex into the bridge for a win, and she was a lot more aggressive, I guess, which is what her tarot cards and her Ouija board was predicting here. And then backstage,
cross pass her, she and Kaylee Ray had the moment. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. How definitely in NXT UK they do not that they slot people, but they say, do you know what, you won't be somebody now, but in a wee bit you will, and we'll build you up. And you could see them doing that with Isla Dawn, and they've done it perfectly. As I've said to you before, I've seen her wrestle live a few times, and she's great. I mean, she really is. But now they're just giving her a wee bit more of a backstory. They're giving her a little bit more of a character. They've changed her. They've turned her a bit darker than she even was. So I'm really looking forward to coming down the line to see exactly what she'll do now that we've got heel Isla Dawn starting to push through.
Yeah, maybe just throw something together. I know it's last minute, but they said there's 1 week till Prelude. There's only 2 matches booked. Speaking of which, we got a comment from James for you, Gary. We got a question for you.
Yeah.
If Ciampa wins the UK title at TakeOver, then is he the one that's got to go across? He's got to go. Whoever wins that match has got to hop on a jet right away and fight Rampage Brown. So,
yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Definitely, that's going to influence what happens. It really will. And I, obviously, one thing I have to say, just to pick you up on that, I thought you were wrong about, because you obviously said that Noam Dar hadn't had his cruiserweight title match, and you said if Jordan Devlin brings the belt back, you're going for stand-up comedy too, Al. I see what you did there.
I'm sorry.
When?
As we talked about last week, we kind of figured it was coming up. Nina Samuels, she's done, but Zaya had one more task for her to do, and that was clean the bathroom. I've never been inside a women's. I'm assuming it smells like roses. There's waterfalls, birds chirping. I'm sure it's beautiful. Flowers. I'm sure it's beautiful. She had to clean the men's bathroom, and I've been in a couple of those in my time, Gary. That's not. I felt bad for her.
Yeah, that's not somewhere anybody wants to be after a certain time, especially at night. It's like, no. After a curry and a few pints, it's not exactly where anybody wants to be. So,
yes, I'm assuming that was the men's bathroom at BT Studios. So, there was probably a couple wild boars in that tournament. We do have one match announced for this Thursday afternoon. For the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, Pretty Deadly will have their first title defense. They had a pretty funny promo. They were good. They're kind of growing on me. Side plates. They're going to be going against Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan, who I guess have kind of been getting more and more on the same page, even though Amir doesn't want Kenny to do the heel tactics, but Kenny got the title match for him. So I guess Amir's good. They were to get in the ring training together. It looks like all's great. So I still don't give him a shot in hell here, Garrett.
I would agree there. No, definitely Pretty Deadly will keep it, although I will be interested to see, because I am convinced that Williams and Jordan are going to split at some point soon. Whether this is the week, whether they lose and they keep going for another week or two, or whether they lose and Kenny Williams just drop kicks him in the face or does something to just kind of call it a day. But
yeah. So, all right, I guess that'll do. Actually, I'll bring in, we're going to transition from you into the stateside version of the NXT. John DeConnie has this match on my list to talk about. Wanted to get your thoughts on it real quick. If you took all of the 5 seconds this match was, Walter and Drake Maverick, they're under your jurisdiction here, Garrett. Anything you want to throw out about Walter and Spud?
No, I mean, when I saw they were doing it, and I thought, right, okay, fair enough. But literally, they needed something for everybody across in the States who doesn't know Walter all that much to go, blimey, this guy is a killer. And putting him in, as you say, putting him in with Spud, putting him in with Drake is going to be the one way to do that. He sold well for him. It was like he came across like an absolute killer. And I did see it was funny that Drake put out a tweet shortly after it going, "Don't worry, I'm still alive." Very shortly after it.
I had one prediction for that match. I think Walter was the win. That was the obvious. My prediction was there was going to be a picture on Thursday morning of a gigantic handprint on Drake Maverick's chest, just like he did the Jack Stars in his first match. He didn't do it, though. He spared Drake Maverick's life. For those of you who have not seen that picture, look up Jack Star's handprint. Walter tattooed him bad in Walter's debut match in the NXT UK. Gary, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy NXT UK this week. I won't be out with you next week. Ryan's going to be driving the ship with you. Enjoy Prelude. And I will be seeing you hopefully sooner than later. Happy WrestleMania. Enjoy your Easter. And we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one. See you later. See you all about.
Okay, so we're going to bring back in John Smith and John DeConnie. John Smith's shots fired. Gary was throwing a little bit at you there right at the end.
Losers talk for the game.
Staying NXT stateside, I guess we'll just transition right into John DeConnie. Anything you want to add to Walter and Drake Maverick? I forgot about that. That's Gary's jurisdiction. I should have gave him first shot at that. It was a quick match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the match was, 40 seconds? The biggest thing about the match was what took place after the match. When Tampa made his way down to ringside, got right up in Walter's face, challenged him to a match. Walter said no, and pretty much was done with him. But Ciampa decided to take a swing. Got the hell beat out of him by Imperium for a couple of seconds, and then Walter reconsidered and accepted his challenge, which we all know is now taking place at Stand and Deliver.
Yep. So that another match. John DeConnie did. John Smith did pick correctly in his predictions. But we ended NXT. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. This is Adam Cole. So they were in jail because Kyle O'Reilly tried to run Adam Cole off the road. Apparently, so they fast forward to the next week, and Adam Cole tracked Kyle O'Reilly down in his, I guess, got Cobra Kai or whatever Kyle O'Reilly trains. And they got into a little bit there. Regal's pissed that these two, that the police are involved, the whole nine. So he booked had them both sign a contract, non-sanctioned, that's AEW term, unsanctioned. There's a difference. Unsanctioned for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Regal wants nothing to do and wants the company to have nothing to do with what these two are going to do with each other. So we will get into that next week. There's nothing really more to talk about. They hate each other. They're going to kill each other. It's going to be fun. So John Smith, unfortunate accident last week. Danny Burton, you hate to see this happen at this time of the year because not only is Danny out, this affected Oni too. Like Oni was going to shine at TakeOver. I'm almost certain about that. But he kind of shined. He held his own against Karrion Kross. Shout out to Oni.
Yeah, big shout out to Oni, man. Like I feel really bad for him. And I mean, he did beat Finn Balor and Karrion Kross all by himself in a tag team match 1-on-2. So I think they should be using that going forward to try to boost him into the North American title picture or something. His match with Kross was good, but we all knew how it was going to end. Lorcan got some good shots in on him, but Kross, once he puts that forearm in the back of your head, you're donezo. So, it was a good match, but I'm worried what they're gonna do. I think Lorcan might end up getting lost in the mix of everything after this.
Well, how about this? If, and I'm using the word if, I'm not getting in the middle of you and Gary's freaking thing. I said if with Jordan, so I'm going to do if with Santos as well. Oni is under 205 here. How does Oni Lorcan versus Santos Escobar float you?
I think that sounds great. I mean, I think him versus Devlin sounds great too. I think no matter who wins that match between Escobar and Devlin, they're staying here. I don't think Devlin's going to take the title back with him over to UK. I think he's going to stay here. Maybe finish out whatever he's got, whatever kind of programs he's got going on in the UK. But I think he's here for good if he wins that title.
Yeah, he tied up his last match. He had his one last thing with Trent Seven, and he handled him. So that the bow is nicely tight. He's got no loose ends over there. So, speaking of Jordan Devlin, oh my God, like Joy hit the ground, John DeConnie, him and Kushida, holy crap, like yes. And Jordan even said it in his promo, like this is going to be the biggest match in this company's history, and you guys don't even know it yet.
And it absolutely paid off. And it's a shame the way it had to end. But I mean, they tore it up like we knew they would. The Legatos, Wild and Mendoza had to get involved. They yanked Devlin out of the ring. He kind of ducked under, fooled them, got back in the ring. Kushida was in the middle of a slingshot move, wound up knocking them off the apron, kind of got them out of the way for a little while. And Kushida had been working the whole match on Devlin's arm, so he could barely move one of his arms. And Devlin hit an O'Connor roll after they got rid of the Legatos, and backbridged. And credit for the psychology in it. His arm hurt so bad he couldn't hit a regular backbridge, so he bridged on his freaking neck, and he got the 1-2-3 pin, and he gets the victory there. And afterwards, Kushida goes after the Legatos, and Devlin and Escobar wind up face-to-face in the ring. And they're silently, talking smack, not quite on mic. And then we get Sexy Boy. We get some of that money-making music. And the Sexy Boy makes his way down to the ring, and in legendary performer fashion, didn't have to say a word, just slid a ladder in the ring between the two cruiserweight champions, and oh boy, this unification match just got that much better.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't say, I don't think it was the first ever. It was the first at WrestleMania, and it was the two Intercontinental Championships. Shawn Michaels was champion, got injured. Razor won the tournament, and I guess if you want to put Razor as the interim. But when Shawn came back, Shawn had the belt. I never lost it. Sounds familiar. Sami Zayn did it. Jordan Devlin just did it. So they're going to put him up. And whoever gets him, gets him. That's it. That's a champ. So, yeah, I'm excited. John Smith, you were getting like a little school. That was a very little schoolgirlish of you up there in the corner. I know you're excited. I'm excited, too.
Oh, man, I can't wait for this match. I cannot wait. This is going to be match of the whole week.
In the women's division, there was a tag team match. The former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they defeated the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai, and Zoe Stark after Raquel Gonzalez, excuse me, she first slammed Zoe Stark into Io Shirai and then into the mat, and then they got this in. Like, that was completely unnecessary to hit Io, but let's screw it. You can, why not, right? That's the challenge. So then Gonzalez slammed Io Shirai into the announce table. So shots fired from the challenger. They will main event night one. We will get to that in a second. John Smith. There was 2 upsets last week. One we'll get to in AEW when Ryan Jones joins us. When was the last time you saw somebody make their in-ring debut and lose? I know we'll see it with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, but before that, an actual wrestler make their in-ring debut and thank you, Jonathan. In-ring debut and lose. Like what? LA Knight? Oh my God, Eli Drake. Take Eaton Ellis right off the top. Like,
well, that wasn't his in-ring debut. He had a match the previous week, so no. Are you sure?
Yeah,
this is the first time LA Knight was in the record books.
That's what set this match up. Was that during LA Knight's match last week, Bronson Reed came out with his leather jacket and gave us a little fat guy and a little.
Yeah. So it was his second match. Yeah. Remember Bronson Reed came out in LA Knight's first match with his fat guy in a little coat.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
I mean, either way, it was an upset in our minds. Yeah. So I mean, I guess not in Hunter's mind. I think this shows us what exactly Hunter thinks of Bronson Reed moving forward. But I don't think it's gonna slow LA Knight down. You hear a lot of people talking bad stuff about it, but not everybody should be in this cookie cutter role of debut, win, and then you finally lose. Now he's got that loss out of the way. Now it's more about his promos than his in-ring work. I mean, his in-ring work is still great, but his promos are can't miss. So that's what we're going to be watching LA Knight for.
Yeah, and that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. John Smith, Balor wants to beat Karrion Kross. He's got to resurrect the demon. True or false?
True, but he won't do that because Kross is winning and he doesn't want the demon to lose.
Yeah, I think it's too late for the demon now. He's not going to break out the demon when he's on his win streak. But going forward, the NXT Tag Team Championships, they will be decided to take over in a triple threat match. MSK, Grizzly Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma. They will be the new champions. None of them have ever been champions before, so we're going to crown new first-time champions in NXT's tag team division. Breezango was the odd team out. They lost a couple of weeks ago to Legado del Fantasma, so they didn't have an argument. They weren't screwed. They didn't make Roman Reigns tap out during the match, so they can't just get figured into it.
What about Everrise?
Everrise rules. I think. Honestly, I've been seeing stuff on Twitter. I think Cameron Grimes has Everrise on assignment right now. Like, I think they're living the life or something. Look them up on Twitter. I'm pretty sure they're on these hotel spas and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Everrise is.
They have Everrise. They do Everrise live. Like once a week, I think, from a hotel with the ocean behind them.
I think Cameron Grimes is getting involved in that too. We'll get to Cameron in a second. Because we got to get to we went from the former women's tag team champions to the current Shotzi and Ember. They put the titles on the line. We were originally told it was going to be Aaliyah and Jessie Kamea. Jessie wasn't there. I don't remember the reason why, but they listed the services of Mercedes Martinez again, and then I was just like, okay, this just got a lot more interesting. So, but didn't really work out that well. An eclipse by Ember Moon on Aaliyah. And done and done. I'm pretty sure Robert Stone's still going to have to pay the other half of the money to Mercedes. He had to pay her half up front and half after the match. Didn't mention anything about winning or losing, but that's what Robert Stone. That's why his brand is suffering and Matt Hardy's is shining. Cameron Grimes pitched an idea to Roderick Strong. I guess to keep the Undisputed Era together, I guess he's going to pay. I don't really remember this segment. I just have to keep the Undisputed Era together. Roderick Strong said, no, it's done. They are going to have to pull double duty because they are going to go at each other in a one-on-one contest before we get to the Gauntlet Eliminator. So John Smith is their senior NXT correspondent. Who do you got coming out of this one with some momentum going into the Battle Royal?
I don't know. I guess Cameron Grimes will win this one. I don't really know why or how, but he had offered to buy the Undisputed Era, like the intellectual property from Roddy.
Okay.
That's what he wanted to do, and then him and Roddy could be the Undisputed Era.
That makes more sense actually. Than I'm thinking. Okay, John DeConnie. Who you got?
Give me Roderick Strong just because he's really had a bad month. He's really in a bad mood. He's going to take it out on Grimes.
Yeah, he's pissed. That's exactly. He is extremely pissed right now because he wanted to go talk to Kyle. Have a hard time with Kyle. Kyle told him to go to hell. Roddy told both of them to go to. There's. I'd actually like to see Roddy get thrown into that unsanctioned match too. Just hop right in there. Just get involved. They're not even in the match, whatever. Just get involved in the match somehow. Just beat the crap out of both of them at TakeOver. But Roddy has his own championship opportunity. So Regal came out. I kind of made a joke a couple of weeks ago about the order of the Elimination Chamber. That it was unfair. The gauntlet was unfair. That they should have had a battle royal to determine. Then they should have the Royal Rumble to determine the order of the battle. I went on to this small little rant as a joke, but apparently Regal was watching. Hey, Commissioner Regal, he came out with this. It's a 12-man eliminator gauntlet. So first is going to be these 12 guys in a battle royal. The first 6 eliminated are out. The final 6 will advance to night 1 of TakeOver. They're going to continue the battle royal though tomorrow night, and when you're eliminated 6 through 1, that will be the order of entry going for TakeOver in the gauntlet match. So when it's down to the 6 and they're down to the 6, the next person who's eliminated, he's going to draw number 1 in the gauntlet. Whoever wins the Battle Royal tomorrow night will enter last at TakeOver in the 6-man gauntlet. So I'm going to leave this up here for a second. John Smith is, like I said, our senior NXT guy. You can pick 6 here. So you got 50%, I guess, right?
Yeah, I kind of went over this last week. I think it's going to be Pete Dunne, Roddy Strong, Dexter Lumis. Tyler Rust is going to be like your wild card that you don't think is actually going to be in it, but he will be, I think. Wow. And LA Knight and Kushida.
Okay.
And then I see Loomis winning that.
Okay. John DeConnie. Wait, you got Loomis winning this Battle Royal to enter last at TakeOver?
No, I don't have Loomis winning the Battle Royal. I think I think probably Pete Dunne will win the Battle Royal.
All right. John DeConnie, pick 6 here.
Okay, I agree with Loomis. I agree with Dunn. Agree with Kushida. Did you mention Grimes? I got Cameron Grimes, no. Austin Theory, and LA Knight.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with that. I got just by looking at it, I don't have this written down. I'm just going off of what I think I had on my top of my head. Kushida. Yeah, Pete Dunne. I can totally see Pete Dunne winning this. I see Roddy winning this too. Dexter's a lock. LA Knight's a lock. Then it gets a little sketchy. You said there's going to be a wild card, whether it's Atlas or Swerve, Rough, Theory. I feel like LA Knight is going to do something to get Bronson Reed out of this and keep him out of TakeOver. I think that's going to be the payback for the loss last week. Yeah. So I think I went with Swerve, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Are we missing somebody here?
Yeah, Tyler Rust.
Tyler Rust. Okay, there you go. There's right in the bottom corner. So there you go. Write that down. Take it to the bank. John Smith, here you go. Night 1, Raquel and Io will main event. Walter and Ciampa, a huge interpromotional brand championship match. That's going to be worth the most points out of everything here is at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. The triple threat tag title, the Gauntlet Eliminator, that rounds out night 1. NXT title, the unsanctioned match, the Cruiserweight Championship ladder match, and then Johnny Gargano was not happy through all this. I failed to mention that before we went to this. Johnny Gargano is not happy. He's only going to have 24 hours notice for preparing for his challenger. So anything on the potential there on the bottom, John Smith? These are your remaining matches.
Well, this is what I like. What you have on the screen right now is the exact card that I predicted, besides
Yeah.
the Gargano versus a gauntlet winner. But I think the gauntlet winner will be Loomis, which I had predicted it to be the match.
Yes.
I don't know if we see Reed versus LA Knight, because I think one of them is going to be in the gauntlet, if not both. So I don't think they're going to be pulling double duty at the pay-per-view. So I don't think we're getting Reed versus Knight. We got to get Xia Li versus Casey and Caden. We have to. Kushida and Dunn doesn't look very likely because of the gauntlet eliminator. And then I guess the way versus Shotzi and Ember is the way they're going, but they haven't booked it yet.
Yeah, they ran into each other backstage, and I believe Candice said we were going to we'll meet, but on our time, on our stage. So you got to get the feeling that will be match 9 booked. Casey and Caden versus Xia, they're doing something I think tomorrow night. We were discussing in pre-production. Casey is medically cleared now. She doesn't need the crutch. Oh, she does. She doesn't need the crutch, but she likes swinging it apparently. But so we are going to go from NXT to this is going to be a nice little segue, because next week is going to be the Hall of Fame on Tuesday, but the following week after us, it will not be Impact anymore. It will be NXT. So we will be your NXT lead-in on Tuesday nights starting April 13th, which is episode 49 for us. But for one last time, we will lead you in to Impact, because Impact, starting next Thursday, some call this genius, some call this ridiculous. But not only did they set up a pay-per-view to go up against WrestleMania, they decided to go up, screw it. I don't know, let's just go up against TakeOver on their Peacock debut. Screw it, John Connie, let's do it. Dreamers got balls.
Exactly. Like, they could have they could have made the announcement so it didn't look like what they were doing was reactionary, but still set the start date for after the takeovers. But now let's go head to head. Why not?
You think sometimes they're stupid. Like when they put out Wrestle House or Wrestle Court or whatever, you think they're. Then you look at it like, you know what, that wasn't a bad idea at all. That was actually pretty great. So you're kind of like the mad scientists of Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, the Invisible Hand. I'm sorry,
maybe we'll have an hour of Swingers Palace. That'll definitely.
And John DeConnie, we'll read it. The Swingers Palace commercial stole the show last week. What was the catchphrase?
It was, I believe, Thrills, Chills, and Pizzills.
Yes! And probably a huge endorsement from Chris Sabin as well. Kenny Omega was there. Kenny, by God, Omega, again, promoting the One-Winged Angel. It doesn't matter if Jon Moxley kicked out of it or not on AEW. No one's ever kicked out of the One-Winged Angel. No one ever will. I love that. Funny, just ignoring history. Screw it. That actually made me happy. The fact that he's completely ignoring Jon Moxley there. That's funny. But yeah, they're just going One-Winged Angel, One-Winged Angel, One-Winged Angel. I guess that's going to beg the question. You feel like Rich Swann is going to do it, John Connie?
I think he will maybe kick out of one. He might get hit with 4 of them. Who knows? He certainly won't win the match, but I think he might kick out of a One-Winged Angel. And then Kenny will continue probably to go on and say, or at least Don will go on to say, that no one's ever kicked out of it continuously, because, once again, this is wrestling. Never let facts get in the way of a good story.
What I say. Rick Swann had some words. He ain't gonna get let. Let me just read it. Ain't gonna let a little jive from Kenny get to him. So that was a little bit of a tongue twister there. I apologize for that. I get excited when I hear Rick Swann. So he's got counters to the One-Winged Angel. Now that he's already took it, he's eaten one. He's eaten an L from it. He's learned from it. So moving forward with them. Eddie Edwards, John DeConnie, they pretty much told the Good Brothers they're not welcome in their locker room anymore after losing the Impact Tag Team Championships to David Finlay and Juice Robinson, who are now currently in Japan with them. So the tag titles are not stateside, and I believe Decay got a good funny little laugh too. Crazy Steve thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, and so this led to Karl Anderson versus Eddie Edwards in the main event slot last week. And, as you might have expected, this was a good match. Some good back and forth between these two. Obviously, both of them can go. You knew you were going to get quality, but you also knew you were going to get some BS towards the end. And that took place in the form of Eddie knocking Gallows off the apron. That ticked Gallows off a little bit. He came back with a steel chair. And when Eddie rolled Anderson up and Anderson kicked out of it, he was kind of going away from the referee's back, so that allowed Gallows to pop Eddie Edwards in the head with said steel chair, and he kind of stumbled backwards right into an Anderson spinebuster for the win, and the Good Brothers were celebrating. But then their friends from 10,000 miles away decided just to bust some balls. Finju showed up on the Tron just to tease them a little bit and send them home not quite as happy as they should have been after a pinfall victory.
They will go at it at Rebellion. There will be a rematch. They just have to wait another 5 weeks to get it. So it's unbelievable. But there was actually a championship match last week. TJP so close, but the Madman was quicker. Madman Fulton broke up the 3 count before the referee could. He was hitting threes. TJP hit the Mamba Splash. So TJP wins the match. Ace Austin, he gets the title retention. That's the title defense. They're going to have a tag team match. Post-match, I guess they started to beat down TJP. Josh Alexander came out for the save. John DeConnie, Senior Impact correspondent. Who do you got?
Ooh, this is a rough one. It really is a coin toss. I'll give it to TJP and Josh Alexander since this is Josh's, foray back into the X Division, the whole scramble that I'm sure is coming ahead of us at some point. Let Josh get a victory here.
John Smith.
Yeah, and Josh Alexander is a tag team specialist, so he's got that working for him too. So I definitely got them.
Yeah, I got Josh Alexander. Get him shining again. I thought he was gonna do it all. Turns out Ace beat him to the punch. So yeah, I like Josh Alexander. I like him in the singles role. I've said it a couple times now. He's like the Impact version of Big E. So I like that. Let him roll, brother. He's gonna get the title eventually. Maybe in another 2-3 years when Ace Austin gets bumped up to NXT or some of his contracts up and he has to drop it. Speaking of Jersey, from one champion to another in a non-title match, Deonna DePrazzo, she defeated Jazz by hitting her with a shoe.
Not much more to say about that.
No, Impact's going to impact. Trey Miguel was pissed from the week prior, the loss to Sami Callihan. So he was unstable as it was before. Now he's just off. Tommy tried to talk to Dreamer, tried to make a couple jokes, took a couple shots at Dynamite. He even said it was just to try to lighten the mood. With the I like sparklers, I think is something with that match. So Sami didn't want to hear anything about it. He actually went out and had a match with AC Romero, got the win after one of those meaty auras that he throws down there. Post match, he got jumped. Triple XL was jumping him. Then here comes Sami for the save. So that was a little odd. Sami, I guess he plays these kind of games. So tonight we're gonna have Sami Callihan and Larry D. Your boy John Smith, Larry D. in action against Sami Callihan. Who do you got?
I definitely got Sami. Sami's gonna win this one. I'll be rooting hard for my boy Larry though.
I don't like that. I think that's stupid. Anyway, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I completely agree that it's stupid, but I also completely agree with John Smith. Sami will get the win. And point of note, just because I know not a lot of people.
I'm sorry. What was
not
that?
a lot of people pay attention. Not a lot of people pay attention to before the Impact. But the show kicked off last week with Sami crossing paths with Don Callis in the parking lot. And just, who knows how long down the line this may or may not pay off. But Sammy made a point of saying that whoever comes away from that Rebellion main event with the Impact title has got a date with the Death Machine down the line.
There's been a couple times we've mentioned Sami Callihan going to AEW or a crossover with AEW. Is that you, John LeConnie, or?
Well, I'm sure Travis mentioned it because he used to, hang out with Eddie and Moxley, but I've mentioned it as well that I wanted to see that happen.
Yeah. Matt Cardona had a sit-down interview. He's excited to meet Impact. He's claiming it was just a coincidence that he signed with Impact. He does not want to fight Brian Myers. But with that, he wants to challenge Myers to Rebellion. I don't want to fight him, but I'll challenge him to Rebellion. So the challenge is out there. No Impact. John Smith, there's no graphic for this, but tonight, Brian Myers is going to be fighting Suicide with an S.
Suicide with an S. I like it.
I want to believe Caleb's pulling double duty here, so I'm going to start calling him Suicide with an S.
Yeah, it's totally possible. But Suicide's not winning this one.
Nope. John LeConnie.
Yeah, I would have to concur. Brian Myers. Bad news.
So Raju, he stumbled upon Fallah Bahh, who's now flat broke because of Swingers Palace. Poor guy. Poor Fallah. I don't want to laugh at gambling addiction. It's a very, very serious thing. But Fallah Bahh, he's kind of making it, it's fun. You like my striker impersonation right there? You like it? He gets really, really low when he's talking, but then it goes up to the point like this. I love striker. But anyway, Fallah didn't like what Rohit was telling him, so of course they went at it. Rohit Raju got the win with a crucifix, and then of course Rohit being Rohit, he looked the tights too. Why not? This week on Being the Elite PTI, the Impact pre-show, it will be Rohit Raju and Hernandez going against Fallah Bahh and Shira. Any thoughts on this, John LeConnie? Are you watching BTI right now, or?
I've got it on out of the corner of my eye to see if anything interesting happens, but I don't know what the point is of this one way or another. Where I'll go with the two big men, Bahh and Shira, just because they're both coming off losses, so maybe they finally get a little bit of payback on Rohit. Yeah,
they both losses to Rohit Raju. And by the way, John LeConnie, your reporting has been phenomenal. You say that every single week you would report if anything interesting happens. Now, you have not reported one single thing since that show started. Does nothing happen, or are you just not? You're goal breaking us, as Heenan would say.
Well, but usually by the time they get into the match, it's the last 15 minutes, and we're in the main event of this show, so I'm not going to break into pay-per-view picks to let you know that Rohit grabbed somebody's tights again.
Thank you. John Smith, who do you got? Rohit and Hernandez against Fallah Bahh and Shira. Shira.
I got Rohit and Hernandez because Hernandez is just a winner.
Yeah. Yeah, former X Division champion, former Impact Tag Team champion. He's the winner. Things are going well now with Havoc and Nevaeh. They want the titles. Fire and Flavor said they'll fight them non-title. Who do you got now when that's coming up? John LeConnie.
I'm going to say that they don't, it's easy to say they're going to win so that they get another title shot, but at this point, do we want to even see them get another title shot? So I'm going to say Fire and Flavor get it done.
Yeah, things are going well now, but, so John Smith, so Tennille just happened to be passing by again. She wasn't eavesdropping. She wants to be partners with Nevaeh now. That Nevaeh is back in the winning. So Tennille's wedging her away. It's not working, but it might work in the end where Tennille just screws them over. So I'm calling it, Tennille's just gonna, accidentally cause havoc in Nevaeh this match. Yeah, we gotta move on here. Fire and Flavor's got to fight somebody else.
I think Havoc and Nevaeh actually win this one, and then they get the title match at the pay-per-view. When's the pay-per-view? Pretty soon, right? 2 weeks?
Saturday,
WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, the Hardcore Justice at WrestleMania.
And then they'll probably have Havoc and Nevaeh have a big – one of them will heel turn on the other one at the pay-per-view, I think.
Okay. I like that. Rhino was baptized in the name of change by Eric Young. Eric Young pointed out everything we did about Rhino, pretty much saying if there was one person in his wrestling career that just defied violence by design, it is the man beast from Detroit, Michigan, the last ever ECW World Heavyweight Champion, Rhino. And then James Storm, Gore. James Storm is wrestling and apparently in his 1000th match tonight.
Allegedly.
Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who knows? I'm a numbers guy. I haven't fact checked this. Maybe SpongeBob, maybe not. But unfortunately, he's fighting Eric Young. Scott D'Amore set this matchup with Eric Young. Not to play a spoiler here, Eric Young is injured in this match. He is out 6 to 9 months. So it's unfortunate. This broke a couple days ago. So we're not going to pick this one. We are just going to wish Eric Young well, and hopefully it's not too cringeworthy when we watch tonight if they do show it. So get well soon, Eric Young. And gentlemen, we will bid you adieu for the time being. We are going to bring in Ryan Joy from MinutesToBellTime.com, our host of the Daily Wrestling Morning News Show, the Daily Wrestling News Show. I keep on trying to throw morning in there, and it's just not. And I apologize about that.
Well, it is in the morning.
Every Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. You had that handsome guy is back on Monday mornings with you for the time being, huh?
Yeah, periodically there is somebody there. This past week it was he was trying to be AJ Styles as the show started, but
I gotta watch that back to see how well I did with it. It was during your intro. I noticed I was wearing a hood. I'm like, I'm gonna try to be AJ. The first time I flipped it off my hat backwards, my hat fell off. I'm like, oh, that's so I ended up making it work. But Ryan, how are things going today? Fun show with you and Travis this morning. How are things?
Very good. Happy to be here. Like you said, it was a fun show this morning. It's a fun show every morning, so people should check it out.
It is. I'm there every morning. I'm commenting right along, making sure that you guys understand that it's hockey the reason why NXT is moving, not because AEW won the war.
Yeah, there's nobody's gonna actually come forward and say this is the reason. I think Triple H actually spoke on it recently. He said, we went to Wednesdays because we needed to be consistent with what was on the network, and then now we've established ourselves, and now we feel like we can change the date. So whatever, everybody's got their reason, but
yeah,
I think the impetus was certainly the sports channel going down.
And to tell you what, I'm telling you right now, AEW, especially when Wednesday Night Hockey, when they're at the Nassau Coliseum, the ice is great there. They're going to get killed in the ratings when the Islanders are on, especially at home.
Well, I think it's actually a really interesting story because I think that everybody, the pressure's on NXT, the pressure's on AEW, the pressure's on Raw and SmackDown as well, because everybody should be producing ratings. Nobody's going against each other. And quite frankly, Raw and SmackDown might want to get scared of NXT. Because
I would hope so.
A lot of people exclusively watch NXT, and it'll be interesting to see when they're unopposed just how good they do in comparison to the main brands. Yeah. So.
All right, so we digress. Great show Friday night. There was the main title defense, but we have some new champions here.
Yeah. The theme of the show really was the Foundation, which is Jonathan Gresham, Jay Lethal, Hot Sauce, Tracy Williams, and Rhett Titus. They were coming for LFI's gold. They had 3 matches to take away the championship gold, and they succeeded 2 out of 3. Jay Lethal didn't come home with the big belt, the ROH World Championship, but Tracy Williams, he got the TV championship. Rhett Titus and Tracy Williams captured the World Tag Team Championships. So new champions crowned at 19th anniversary show, but Jay Lethal didn't come through. Roosh is still the world champion.
Yeah, they love Ace Austin and Robert, but Jay Lethal, he's the best that Jersey has to offer. I mean, if he can't get it done, Roosh just seems like he's just unbeatable.
Well, it helped. There's a little outside interference going, So
well, that's pro wrestling. That's what good heels do. That's what good champions do. They usually have outside help. Anything else, Ring of Honor, you want to touch on? I know the New Japan Cup. I don't know if you got my private message. We forgot to get the brackets here. I don't know if you want to switch to
the New Japan Cup USA does not start this week. It actually starts a week from Friday. So So we're good on that. We don't need to talk about that. But it's an 8-man tournament that's going to start a week from Friday to determine who is going to face Jon Moxley next. So that's out there. It's cooking. Some names you'll know, some names you won't, if you're not a New Japan regular fan. So that's out there. But this weekend is the next big New Japan show. And it's got a world title match. The New Japan World Championship was revealed yesterday, the new belt. And Kota Ibushi will be defending that against Will Ospreay this weekend. I see you're smiling. Would you like to make a comment about how it looks like?
No, I'm going to save it all for John DeConnie on the Daily Wrestling News Show tomorrow morning. No, let John have at it. Travis had at it pretty good this morning. John DeConnie is where that's where the ratings are going to pop in. He is the Essential Wrestling Podcast belt connoisseur. We've had conversations in the past. He recently just got me the Attitude Era belt that Ted wears so proudly every week here at Jersey Studio. I don't even know what I call my studio.
You gotta come up with a creative name. We're in minutes.
Maybe just name it after Eva Marie. I miss her.
So we got that world title match. We also have a junior heavyweight tag team title match. Yo is making his long-awaited return, and it's been about a year that he's been on the shelf. He's going to team with his partner Sho. So it's Yo and Sho versus Connemaro and Desperado for the IWGP Junior Tag titles, the titles that they never lost. They had to forfeit them. And then the really interesting turn in this whole show on Sunday is that the Empire is going to grow by one person, and we don't know who the one person is. It's a mystery partner that Cobb and the Great O'Khan have in their match against Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and Sonata. So really interesting. There's a lot of people on the market, plus the whole Forbidden Portal is open. So it could be literally anybody. So it's a lot of interest for me, at least, on what's going to happen this Sunday.
El Idolo?
It's possible, but he's been spending so much time in Mexico that it seems like, I mean, I know that, here in Florida, you don't have to quarantine when you're traveling in, but I think in Japan, they're pretty serious about things. So I don't know if he'd be able to get there.
Gotcha. All right, so does that tie the bow up on you here? I know we usually kind of fly by the seat of our pants in this segment, right? I kind of just try to keep up with you. I forgot to put up your New Japan your graphic in the corner right there. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Tomorrow night on Major League Wrestling, MLW Fusion, there is a world title match there too. Jacob Fatu defending against Calvin Tankman. I don't really think the title is going to change. It's probably the most serious threat that we've had against Jacob Fatu in a while. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay. Otherwise, I think that's good. We can move to the next segment.
Yeah, we're gonna stay with you, Ryan, because I know you're our senior AEW correspondent. We're gonna bring that's the wrong part. We're gonna bring in John DeConnie. We're gonna bring in John Smith. Bring them back in. We get the 4-name, boom, and we are good to go. Probably one of the funniest things. Okay, what I said, I fell out of my chair for something. John Silver and the Dark Order did it for me as well when they were helping John Silver practice moving out of the way of the coffin drop. That was perfect. It was great practice for John Silver. Poor Alan Angels. Why is he getting the bleep end of the stick here? I have absolutely no idea why he's getting singled out. But I digress. Johnny Hungy going in for the TNT Championship. I was going to stay right with you.
Yeah, he didn't succeed. Darby Allin kept the TNT Championship. There was a spot in the match where Darby climbed the ropes to do what looked like a coffin drop into back onto John Silver, and he actually coffin dropped the entire Dark Order. But ultimately, John Silver would go for a power bomb. This is like 13 minutes into the match. Darby countered into what they're calling a code red. I guess that's what the AEW word for it is, for the pinfall victory, 13:46. John Silver doesn't succeed in taking the TNT Championship from Darby Allin, but I think Darby Allin's going to go back to the Dark Order before long. However, the Hardy family office and Dark Order kind of got into things after the match. So,
yeah, Code Red. That used to be the first time I ever saw that move done by the Amazing Red way back in the original. You want to talk about TNA originals? The Amazing Red was one of them. That's the first time I was the Sunset Flip Bomb. They called it the Code Red. So he was absolutely incredible. He was a part of the AJ Styles and Sonny Siaki, Taki Siaki. Remember? Anyone remember? Does anybody know Sonny Siaki here?
My brother still uses that. He's his ace in the hole. He still uses that to this,
Ace in the Hole.
to this
I
day.
watched it with your brother way back. I said, me and Chris, Ace in the Hole, Taki Siaki. He was awesome. But I digress. Lance Archer, shot a promo. I guess Sting's weekly interview. I know Ryan didn't make it graphic, but I'm going to make a dumb assumption. Tony Schiavone's doing an interview with Sting this week. Last week's interview, Lance Archer came out saying it's not Sting's time anymore. So I stand corrected from what I said last week. Looks like Lance is going after Sting here, not the TNT Championship. Kenny Omega defeated Matt Sydal after one-winged angel. Don Callis speaks truth. No one's ever kicked out of it. You can add Matt Sydal's name to that list. John Smith, your best friend Penta, he teamed back up with his brother. They tagged with the returning Laredo Kid. An amazing six-man tag team match.
Yeah, if you put your head down to write any notes during this one, you missed the next move already because they were going fast in this one, man. They were all over the place, the double suplexes, all flying over the ropes, all sorts of stuff going on here. And then the thing that got me, though, at the end was when Ray Phoenix took the little double pile driver, and then he was back on his feet 5 seconds later on the ring apron. And that didn't make their finisher look too great. But other than that, I got nothing bad to say about this match. What's his name again? The Laredo Kid comes up with the pin on Cutler after doing the Spanish fly off the top rope. That was a really sick move. So, definitely a good match, but they just buried their finisher, I think, the Young Bucks finisher.
Yeah, and then it was weird when I fast forwarded Kenny Omega and Matt Sydal right there. I thought it was weird. I'm like, Kenny's got nothing to say this week. Like that's not Kenny at all. Here comes Kenny. Kenny late as usual, but here comes Kenny out after this match. Did a shoot with the Bucks when he had to make his choice who he was going to sign with after he left New Japan. He didn't choose WWE. He didn't even choose AEW. He chose the Young Bucks. Those were his friends. Threw up the 2-sweet, and the Bucks walked away again. So it's the Bullet Club. I guess stateside, the Bucks want nothing to do with it. Then here come the Lucha Bros, and just for fun, they laid out Kenny Omega. So there's going to be a 6-man tag team match tonight, Ryan Joy, with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus the Lucha Bros and the Laredo Kid. Once again, they're teaming up.
Yeah, I think Omega and the Good Brothers take this match. And I think maybe Laredo Kid takes the pin.
All right, John Connie.
Yeah, that sounds just about right. That's exactly where my head was at on this one. Omega and the Good Bros.
All right, now, but does the Laredo John Smith, is it going to take 2 one-winged angels?
How about a 2-winged angel?
Is that possible? Maybe. A one-winged angel, one-winged angel. Now, is it a winged angel? Cows are saying winged, but I always thought it was winged. I don't know. Britt Baker did an interview. She just put AEW on the map with her non-sanctioned map, not an unsanctioned map. And AEW was a non-sanctioned match. There is a difference.
Right.
Lights are off. It's the lighting. The lights are off at AEW, where NXT is more like Motel 6. They'll leave the lights on for you. The letters AEW come second to the letters DMD. So that was that fun little promo. John DeConnie, Pinnacle, their first action as a unit.
Yes, sir. FTR and Sean Spears teamed up for some 6-man action between them and the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin. And it was a good match. It didn't last all that long, but I think the exclamation point on it was that the Pinnacle looked real good. It ended with Dax tossing Martin, I don't know, almost as if he were going for a 3D. But Spears caught him in a fireman's carry and did his running Death Valley driver that I believe he calls the C4 for the win. And afterwards, Wardlow just decided Pillman hadn't had enough. So I don't know what he did. He kind of choked, goozled him, grabbed him off the the turnbuckle, and I don't know if he hit him with a knee or something. The camera work was a little wacky, but they just kind of beat him up, tossed him out, and MJF got the little time to bleep talk Chris Jericho, and promised that this week he will be giving gifts to all the members of the Pinnacle.
Well, I believe that was the one
When you're
Brad
part
Gabbard
of the
Pinnacle, right, Ryan? And I didn't even put it in here. Yeah, the Pinnacles, they're getting gifts from MJF, so they're going to have their in-ring segment, probably the top of the hour. They're usually the 9 o'clock act, right? Whoever the Inner Circle, let's take over for the Inner Circle, right? So they're going to be right there. Team Taz says they hashed everything out. All is good with Team Taz after Brian Cage's show of respect to Sting last week. You don't do that with Taz. You don't show respect. QT Marshall did an interview. He's frustrated. Apparently, Cody is making him work nonstop with some pretty petty chores here, John Smith. Did you feel for Cody, for QT Marshall, or are you just as pissed as he is? That, if you were QT, like, would you not want to fight Cody too? Who do you got? They're having an exhibition. Let's just go. Arn Anderson's the referee. I set you up for this one. There we go.
Well, QT Marshall dug his own grave the second he decided to be friends with Cody Rhodes in the first place. He
So
shouldn't
you're
even
blaming
be there.
QT for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You make dumb choices, you have to pay dumb consequences.
Which is now a loss to Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson as the referee, correct?
Of course.
Okay, Ryan Joy.
Cody Rhodes gets the win here.
John DeConnie.
Cody.
All right, speaking of Cody Rhodes, I mean, here goes AEW ripping off Miz and Mrs. Like, are you kidding me with this? Cody and Brandy have their own reality show. Like, okay, so it's called The Roads to the Top. Fun, cute name. But yeah, the TNT is all in with Cody Rhodes, and they're putting him on game shows, they're putting him on. So here's the ratings war. We got, not only AEW versus Raw, I guess we'll just put that on the Miz's show. You got the two reality shows going head to head, and then you have the Big Show versus Cannonball, right? Is that the big? I don't know how Cannonball did in the ratings with the Miz's host, but man, wow, it's John. I feel like you kind of threw up a little in your mouth when you saw that, John Smith.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call it Myth and Mythith.
Yeah, John DeConnie.
Just one point there. During the layout of the new reality show, Brandy makes a point of saying that it means the world to her to be the first Black person to be a part of the Rhodes family. Sapphire?
No respect. No respect.
Everything's about me and now.
Just thought it needed to be said.
So, all right, to be fair, Sapphire sold out Dusty when she got that fur coat from the $1 Million Man. She jumped ship real quick. So let's not paint this huge positive picture on Sapphire. It's no longer with us. We love. She was great when she was on TV. We said Brian and I did her special WrestleMania 6, her match, and then I said DiBiase bought her out. That was the huge feud with DiBiase and Dusty Rhodes. That was a lot of fun. So God bless Sapphire. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston had a really great promo on the Good Brothers. They're going to pay, and I guess they're going to bring the Bucks involved on this too, because they said the Young Bucks better get ready to get their hands dirty, because this game is being played with live rounds. Very nice quote. Very great promo. On to Hangman Page, who defeated Cesar Barnoni with the Buckshot Lariat. That was to par. Scorpio Sky video package saying, "My days of being underrated are over." Good for you, Scorpio Sky. Can't wait to see him shine. Red Velvet, for whatever reason, wants more of Jade Cargill. That is a mistake. Brian, and like I said, we had two upsets this week. The first one, like I said, Bronson Reed over LA Knight. No one saw that coming. This was a huge upset. It was a rematch from the Women's Eliminator Tournament. And Ty Conti just shining.
Yeah, so two things. First, I know it's going to take a few extra seconds, but when you say the words LA Knight, you must say LA Knight.
And I
should even waste a little bit of time on the show, but you got
it. It's and you have to do that, especially when a new Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so yes. So if you were to go to minutestobelltime.com after Dynamite had concluded and you were looking through the results, you would have come to the section that says Nyla Rose defeats Tay Conti, and then you read the details and it says Tay Conti hit the DDT for the pinfall victory. Clearly, I was writing my summaries before the match had concluded. This was not an outcome that anybody expected. That line, Nyla Rose defeat Tay Conti, made it all the way into social media and everything where I posted the results. I had to go back and do a bunch of edits. In fact, Tay Conti did get the win. She used the DDT to get the pinfall victory. And it really, not only did she get the win, but it looks like she's getting tossed right into a program that includes the AEW World Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. Nyla Rose attacked Tay after the match. Shida came out to her defense. Then the Bunny came out, and Matt Hardy said his clients have been overlooked. The women's tournament was a sham because the Bunny wasn't in it. And so now we have this week, you're probably going to get to it here, but you've got the tag title match.
Go for it.
So this week we have a tag team title match. We got Shida and Tay Conti versus Nyla Rose and the Bunny. So, and then I assume many more matches after this ultimately to take Tay Conti versus Shida. But in this match, I think we've got Shida and Conti.
Okay, so I'll go with the faces on this one too. I'm gonna go two things on here. One, I don't think this relationship with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero is working out all too well for Nyla. She has not done anything, John DeConnie, since coming into of this partnership with Vicky Guerrero. She was champion before Vicky, and now she's off TV. She's losing tournaments, and now she just lost to Tay Conti, somebody she handled in that tournament, but she didn't win it. So what are we doing with Vicky Guerrero here? Like, why is Nyla?
I'm starting to worry for Vicky Guerrero because, at some point in time, Nyla is going to realize, that this all corresponds with the Vicious Vixens teaming up, and this can mean bad things for Vicky. And because, yes, there has been nothing good. I expected so much more out of this collaboration, and it just hasn't been happening. And I don't think it gets any better this week. I agree that we'll probably get Shida and Conti going over here.
Yeah, it really, John Smith, two more things. I said two before, but I actually just thought of something right now. Really tough to bet against the Bunny at Easter. I'll go with that. But how much does Hikaru Shida hate Nyla Rose? Like, this feud ended months ago, if not last year. And Shida's just like, you know what? I feel like hitting Nyla Rose with my kendo stick again. And wow, she just keeps on kicking. So Hikaru Shida absolutely hates Nyla Rose. It's incredible.
Hey, join the club. So, I mean, I'm not very fond of Nyla Rose either. So I'm a big fan when Shida comes out and does stuff like that. I got the heels winning this tag match though, due to Matt Hardy interference, most likely.
Okay. So you're going to bet on the Bunny during Easter week. I like that. I like your style.
El Carl, do not forget that Nyla Rose stole Shida's kendo stick for a good period of time. So that's a lot of reason to throw some hate Nyla's way, I guess.
John DeConnie, Arcade Anarchy. It's going to be Miro Kip Sabian versus Chuck Taylor and Walking Xanax.
Miro is just such a treasure.
He really is.
I'm gonna have to go with Chuck and Orange Cassidy in this one. As much as I'll be rooting for Miro to crush both of them, I think more likely we'll get some arcade cabinets crushed.
Yeah, I was to say this is going to be. They're calling it arcade. They're calling it Arcade Anarchy. It's like a lumberjack match with arcade machines, John Smith.
It's still just pinfall submission, right?
Yeah, but there's gonna be instead of wrestlers and a lumberjack, you get to go out and play video games and you get thrown out of the ring.
Okay. Give me Miro.
All right. Ryan, Miro didn't have some very comforting statements to Kip Sabian the last time, when they originated this match. The shot about Penelope being at ringside and having her wife at ringside didn't work for him. And, he doesn't care about Kip. He just cares about winning. In the ring, outside they're best buds, but in the ring, as I said, I got a funny feeling Miro's taking a walk on this one.
Yeah, could be. I will pick Miro to win this match. I think that his finisher is called Game Over. So in the arcade match, I think he has to take the win. But yeah, you bring up a good point. I don't think even with a win here, I don't think Kip Sabian and Miro are long for this world as a tandem.
And this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show, Ryan, Travis did his homework on Christian Cage and Frankie Kazarian. Their feud way back in the old TNA days, around 2007, they were involved in a 10-on-10 cage match. I believe Christian's was his coalition at the time, AJ Styles and company. Then I guess they had a one-on-one ladder match, and he had to hit the nail right on the head. These two guys who are well aware of each other. They know each other. They feuded with each other. This is going to be great on Christian's way to the AEW World Championship.
Frankie Kazarian had hair at the time, though. So do they really know each other? I mean,
they know each other now. They knew each other then. Do they know each other now?
I say Cage has to win this, right? I mean, it's just, unlike LA Knight, he's going to win his first match out.
All right.
And his
John
second.
County, the first stepping stone to the AEW Championship. You in on this?
Absolutely. Christian Cage.
The instant classic. John Smith. Is this going to be an instant classic? That's what Christian Cage does.
Cage wins, and it's going to be way too long. they're going to put on a 15-minute match.
Is it possible that Brian Cage and Christian Cage fight in a steel cage?
Against Ethan Page and Hangman Page?
There you go. Against Page and Page. Somebody put that on Twitter.
Cage versus Cage in a cage for the Cage name. It'll be Cage on a pole in a cage. It'll be a little mini cage on a pole inside a steel cage, and whoever grabs the mini cage can use the name Cage for the rest of time.
Book it. So that will do it for AEW. And then Travis timing in right on time. Boom. Dallas Page as the referee. Real quick, one last question. James Wheeler threw a question out here. We kind of ask it all along. I guess this is the question to ask. I guess Roman's title's in a little bit of jeopardy. I think the agreement is Kenny Omega is in the same World Championship level as Roman Reigns. I think we agree with that. I think the race is here. Who loses their title first, and Roman's is in serious jeopardy. So, quick answers around the horn here, Ryan Joy.
Roman. I think Roman loses at Mania.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, Roman loses first, but Omega, the AEW title is not on the same level as that title yet. It's only been around 2 years.
Correct, John Takani.
Yes, I think Roman loses his title first. Absolutely.
All right, I threw it out there this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. I think AEW is going to counterbook Takeover night one. That's going to be the last night they'll go together head to head. I think they're going to counterbook with Christian winning the World Championship from Kenny Omega. So I'll go Kenny Omega on that one.
Hey, I just want to make a point, counterpoint to John Smith. The Universal Championship hasn't been around that long either.
Yeah, but the WWE company's been around, and they need a world champ on both sides. I mean, if you want to get technical about it, then you could say that. But I mean, it's still a 15-year-old company.
Are you allowed to say that word on air?
What's that?
Oh, he said technical. I thought he said something else. So that was Tommy Dreamer right there. I was breaking up the argument with some humor. So we're down to number 3 on my all-time favorite WrestleMania list. I believe there's going to be a show coming up next week, and this match will be featured. It was featured in John the County's trivia. It was the win for Little Brothers all around the world. The opening contest at WrestleMania 10, where the Rocket, Owen Hart, stepped out of the shadow of his big bully brother, Bret. Absolutely incredible match. All jokes aside with the brother thing, these two put on an absolute clinic, way ahead of its time for 1994, in my view. Bret had some great matches back then, but this was probably his best one. No titles on the line. 0-1. That was your trivia question, right, John Connie? That was my trivia question. What did he win with? It was,
your trivia question was
flip, right?
how did he win it? It was a victory roll.
The victory. I'm sorry. Yeah, the victory roll was on his shoulders. I couldn't remember what they call it. He was on his shoulders, ran around, and he got fall. Not many younger brothers have wins over their older brothers at Mania. Kane went 0 for 2 against his older brother, The Undertaker. Jeff couldn't get the job done against Matt at WrestleMania 25. But Owen got it done. Only for Brett to go on later that night and win the WWF Championship over Yokozuna, which did not make Owen happy. That was a great ending right there. I believe Brett was on everybody's shoulders. Owen comes out, just shaking his head like, what the hell? I just owned you. I just beat you. And then you see Savage holding the rope, telling him, come on in. It was Savage and Piper was telling him to come on in. So that was number 3 on my list. So, any comments about that? I had a little bit of ahead of schedule here, John Connie.
I just watched this match this afternoon, and you are absolutely right. It was a technical masterpiece. It was fantastic. It was just 2 guys who are about as good at what they do as anyone ever, and they put on a show.
All right, actually, I shouldn't have asked that question because it will be on Daily Wrestling News Show. Next week is WrestleMania week. You're airing all this. Ryan, what day is WrestleMania 10? Tuesday is going to be WrestleMania 10?
Tuesday.
All right, so make sure you stay tuned. Tune into the Daily Wrestling News Show next week because it's WrestleMania week all again with the stats show. Actually, I'll just throw up the graphic right now. We're doing the reads for it. Might as well just throw up the friggin' graphic for it. Where are you? There you are. Make sure you come out. You're going to have John DeConnie on tomorrow to recap Impact and promote NXT AEW. John Smith will be on Thursday, and then next week will be WrestleMania week again. All the WrestleMania specials that we pre-taped ahead of time, including my very special statistics show the Friday before WrestleMania. Get all the numbers galore. If you're into records and numbers and stats, that will be the show for you. The Primetime Rundown, powered by StreamYard with Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca, is now on at 6 p.m. on Friday nights as they take you through the wide world of sports right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. Please stay tuned. Please go to the easternobserver.com for more information. The Body Slam Brigade newsletter, 4,000 what, Ryan? You're over 4,000.
Yeah, 4,011 last time I checked. It's probably more.
All right, receive this weekly column, a great toilet bowl read. Make sure you go to minutestobelltime.com to subscribe to the Body Slam Brigade, which is by Ryan for you for free. Every Thursday, actually this Thursday is the last article for this, the World Cup of Professional Wrestling. This past Thursday was the International Bracket Final. Right there is Antonio Inoki, WWE Hall of Famer. He is with the Great Muta. He is with, I forget, is with Ado Asuka's on the team. I'm pretty sure Shinsuke Nakamura is on the team. They are going to be going up. They got some pretty stiff competition with Team Mexico, with Team what was the other one? Well, you have to read the article to find out. How about that? And the winners actually get the United States champions, who are Texas. Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Booker T, and Jacqueline. I know that team off the back of my head. That team is crazy. See who's going to fight Texas next week in the last article in this installment. Make sure you pick up the Black Cats NYC. Their new album, Free Cake. It was released way back in November. It is doing absolutely amazing in sales. Please make sure you go to these streaming services, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, Deezer, to get your copy of Free Cake, the new album by the Black Cats NYC. And then this one's for the ladies. If you're upset with the whole process of putting on your eyelashes, let me tell you about these new magnetic and adhesive lashes that my wife is now proudly selling. As you can see, they look just like the eyelashes you put on, but with either an adhesive coating or a magnetic liner with magnets in the lashes, 10 tiny lashes. The process is completely simplified and hassle-free. Please go to Steph's Lovely Lashes on Facebook for more details on these amazing Tory Bell products. And it's as easy as lash liner, boom. Real quick, there's been a lot of questions and controversy about these lashes. No controversy, but some questions. They are cruelty-free, and they are vegan, which means, the bottom line is they were not tested on animals. But I would like to believe that if they were, those animals would look pretty fabulous. Go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com. The sponsors of the show. It is WrestleMania week. We put up the points. We put up the standings every week. Now is a great time to go on, try it out, pick all the winners for WrestleMania. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool, or you can create a pool with your friends. I do believe somebody put as a comment on the bottom for everyone who's playing at WrestleMania, $5 a head, winners take all. I can't promote gambling, but I love the enthusiasm. Go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com, and guys, she will like it too. Oh, that money-making music. This was last year's theme at WrestleMania. We're going back to the pirate ship. We're going back. Well, actually, not going back to Raymond James Stadium. But we are back here in Tampa, Florida, where we should have been last year. Please join us Saturday, April 10th at 12 noon for the WrestleMania Essential Wrestling Podcast special. Myself, John DeConnie, and John Smith will be there going over all of our thoughts, all of our exaggerated theories, all of our things that we want to see, that we love to see, and then have the exact opposite happen at WrestleMania. Or at least I guess I should speak for myself on that one. But please join us on all of these Eastern Observer platforms. The way you watch this show is the way you can watch us on Saturday, April 10th. You will be off in time for Hardcore Justice, which will lead us into night one of WrestleMania. And then next week, join us back here. We'll get things set up for that show on episode 48 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. I might be there. I might not be there. I'm probably going to be jumping in and out of the screen every once in a while. Ryan will. I'm going to have to take the week off. I did pre-taste some stuff. You will see me. You will get my picks and my predictions for NXT TakeOver. I'm not letting that show pass without having my word be heard. So, John DeConnie, anything before we leave?
No, sir. I think we've done the week justice.
All right. Brian Joy, I don't know. I guess your cousin likes my graphics better than yours. That's rough, man.
They're pretty good. I like the stick figures.
Yeah, it was fun. And then I guess the world title picture at New Japan 1973 was the first one. And thank you for watching, Travis. Thank you for watching, James Wheeler. We appreciate all the comments. We love having people chime in, be a part of the show. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Just keep it clean, and we can have as much fun as possible. John Smith, anything from your end?
Everrise rules.
Everrise, I love that shirt. I'm so happy that you got that shirt. Let me get this ticker back up here. There we go. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Karl. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Tegan Knox, Get Wilson, you got to be back soon, right? Next week is TakeOver. Make the surprise appearance. Let's get it done. John DeConnie, take it home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.